And the witness has proposed to the legal team that let's go through the themes in a structured way. You will ask questions on each of the themes, or you will introduce a theme. I will tell you what I know, and then we will move to the next theme. I tell you stories as I know them until we reach the end of the presentation. Honorable Matthys.
Just clarity, Chair. Does this mean that the witness statement has been abandoned? So it's still based on that? And so there's nothing in there that's been withdrawn from the sworn statement. And then we're going to go theme by theme. You'll ask, the witness responds, and then each of us will have a chance to ask questions on that theme.
Yeah.
And then how are you going to do the time allocation, Chair? If
No.
we're going to go theme by theme.
No, what happens is that the legal team has a structured approach in terms of the themes. And then the witness, let's say, for instance, the first theme is on the Pashane matter. If there is any role or any involvement, the legal team will then present the matter to her and she will explain what happened. If there is anything she knows, if they were involved in operation, this is what we did. And then from there, they will introduce the second matter. If they were at the braai or at the book launch, she will, if there is any information she knows, she will explain that information until she concludes the presentation of evidence. But if members from time to time have questions like we were doing, members can always be allowed to ask questions for clarity. Honorable Nqola.
Yeah, no, thanks, Chair. I just need more clarity, Chair, on the request. That one, then what is the difference between the sworn statement and, in terms of the content, and the oral evidence? Would there be any difference? And two, when we ask questions now as members, because the statement was sent to us, we read, we prepared questions. Are we going to be allowed to base our questions on the statement that is before us? And three, what if now, when she presents her oral evidence, we identify some discrepancies or some contradictions between what she tells us and what is written here on her statement? How are we going to deal with that situation? We're not being difficult, Chair, but we don't want to take a position uninformed.
She wants to respond to those questions.
Thank you. I'm also happy to do your normal procedure, I think, and Honourable Nqola, I think you have a very good point there. Whatever the honourable members think is the best way to proceed.
What is the way forward? Because I thought what you were presenting to me is what you have agreed with her.
Chairperson, let's take it again with the witness and continue with the statement. We'll just read in what she said in her statement, and where there's questions on each paragraph, we'll take it that way.
Honorable Sangon.
Thank you very much, Chair. And I've heard what the witness is saying, and I just want to maybe just pose a question. I've heard Advocate Mkhize saying, let's go back that way. Ms. Trent, are you comfortable with that statement? Do you own that statement?
I do.
So all of the issues within that, you are fair with them, you are able to speak on them, Because we struggled a bit at the beginning.
Yes.
So you're confident to go through it. Thank you, Chair. Maybe then that's the way we proceed.
Honorable Shong.
No, Chair, thank you. Sir, this statement, how many times have you written the statement?
How many times have I written the
The
statement?
statement, did you write and submit it once or did you do a back and forth?
Back and forth.
Okay,
When you say back and forth between
like,
who?
did you submit it once and then you are comfortable with it or you,
So I consulted with Advocate Mkhize,
yes?
and she then started to draft the affidavit. I accepted her assistance.
Yes.
And then a couple of nights ago, I received her draft, which I then worked on, and I've just been sort of going through, seeing what's relevant, what's not relevant, that would assist the committee members. So
So this is you,
this is my statement. yes,
completely you.
Completely my
So
statement.
the proposal by chair, is it your proposal or the chair's proposal? Because it seems like there was a proposal and then you are not with the proposal, you are
No.
for the normal procedure that we normally do. Which is it?
Whichever the honourable members would prefer to do it, I think.
Would you prefer if I'm a propose something different, that we keep quiet and you tell us everything, you confess, then we just let you go? Don't you think that would help you?
I can do that, yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know.
But are you gonna tell us everything though?
I don't know. I'll tell you everything.
You seem too nervous. You see, I don't know how to say this, but I'm worried that you might, when we start questioning you, you might not give us exactly what we want and you might be too emotional. So I think it will be best for you to just maybe tell the truth on what you know. Because our aim here is not to make fun or embarrass you, but it's to find the truth. You
In
might have
fact,
been,
what you are suggesting is what the witness has offered to do.
Yes, Chairperson,
Say,
okay,
my
say
suggestion.
can,
My suggestion, Chairperson, is this. I think that it would be quite overwhelming for any person, including myself, to have to make a speech off the cuff. And my suggestion is that we continue with the statement of the witness. The witness did rely on that provision, but she may have been mistaken to rely on that provision. But we can proceed to talk into the matters as to why we are here, which speak into the terms of reference. And she will answer the questions that honorable members have as we go along. But I think that it may be helpful to, maybe even for me to deviate from the planned questions and just for the witness to speak into her statement. She can read it in.
what do you suggest, Advocate
To
Mkhize?
use the statement as a guide for the witness, and she can read her paragraph into the statement, into the record, and we can then field questions that way.
Before I take the honorable members, let's hear what does she want us to do. Miss Sarah Jane Trent,
I'm happy to go through the statement.
okay. Honorable Malema, Honorable Tlhopha.
No, Chair. Honorable Nqola made some remarks and then the witness went back to being emotional. And I've seen some pattern every time we speak, when we expect the witness to speak, the advocate comes in between us and the witness. Unlike the other advocates where they wait and ask you if they can come back after we had asked questions or made comments. So she comes in between. Because that comment made by Honorable Nqola, had the advocate kept quiet and allowed her to comment on what Honorable Nqola said, would have gotten somewhere. Instead, the advocate came in between without giving her the necessary opportunity. And we even proceeded to speak. Even when she was in a state, she was as if we were not interested in a condition. Because at the center of everything else, all of us here, at the end of the day, we must answer the question. Was the witness fit and proper to appear before us? And fit and proper does not only mean the pains at the back. Was she in a right mental status to appear before us? Because from time to time, she breaks down. This is the second time. She's doing it again now. You see, and it's not something that you can blame it at her. She could be going through something that we are unable to detect. What is this thing? And we just said to her, now just talk. And then she says, you know, actually, when you made me to talk, I was under a heavy medication of antidepressant or something like that. But no one cared to ask me, am I fit and proper? Am I ready, emotionally stable to take this on? Because this we are experiencing for the first time, Chairperson. But the last point I wanted to say was, I'm happy whatever way you continue with the witness, as long as there's nothing special that is being created for the witness. She must never be treated special or different to the rest of the witnesses that appeared here. So if that is the understanding, I'm more than fine if she goes without reading the statement, but speaking to the statement or going paragraph by paragraph for the statement. Whatever the issues might be, we'll get to the bottom of the truth of what she knows. So we are in your hands, Chair.
Honorable Thopa.
Thank you, Chairperson, and Ms. Trent. I do see that Ms. Trent is emotionally really rattled where she's sitting, and Honorable Malema did cover me partially and just say, is Ms. Trent fit and proper to continue? I don't know if Ms. Trent would want to speak to a legal advisor. Does she feel that the statement is bothering her because we have questioned on one specific thing, which is the Section 24. Maybe Ms. Trent was advised to put this in and does not know how to articulate this, maybe not. I think it was a witness that said she was Mr. Nqola. He was sent back to revise his statement, if I remember correctly, and came back with his statement, and then he continued with his examination. Now, what Honorable Malema is saying, every time one of us speak, Ms. Trent does get emotional. And we can't treat Ms. Trent anything different than any other witness. But if that won't be the opportunity today, then we need to acknowledge it and move forward with the chair's discretion. But fairness will need to prevail, but in the conditions that we're currently sitting, I don't see that happening. And even if the testimony goes through to the end, when we do start with questioning, and Chair, you know how the questioning goes, what will be the outcomes then? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Sols.
Chair, firstly, we've always maintained that we've got to be fair. I think it would be wrong for Ms. Trent to now just read her statement without being questioned or led, because all witnesses, whether they were here with back pains, broken shoulders, in pain, they had to be led. Procedurally, Ms. Trent, you must be led, not read through your statement. Number two, we don't know the reason why you're emotional. But if your statement here is true, and what we've read in Mr. Paulo Sullivan's statement is true, then you've been fighting serious criminals. You've been facing dangerous situations. Yes? Which means you have the capacity to deal with pressure. And perhaps you are pressured now, but I would want to believe that you know how to compose yourself. So, compose yourself. You will get through this. I can only give you what I always give as an antidote. It's a scripture that says, Look at me. Look at me, Trent. Miss Trent, look at me. Don't worry about them laughing. Look at me. It helps me. I'm a nervous wreck. That's why I sit here with this thing. It gives me courage. I don't take it lightly. People laugh at me, it's fine. The scripture says, the truth shall set you free. Forget about the gymnastics, being cornered and all that. Calm down, speak the truth. And like now, if you are not sure about that answer, simply speak the truth and say, I'm not sure about that. Move on. But from me, you are a crime fighter, corruption fighter. I'm not going to believe that you cannot go through this process. You understand? All right.
Honorable Scosan.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, good evening, Ms. Trent.
Good evening, Honorable Skasana.
I'm not sure whether the question, but I think my question you must not misinterpret it. Sometimes people will be saying we are too harsh. We are not harsh. I want to ask you a simple question. For this purpose, before honorable members here, are you fit and proper for you to be able to go through this submission which you gave us?
Do you mean fit and proper sort of psychologically?
In whatever way, you know, for you to be, because if you keep on breaking, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult, because we have not started asking you anything.
Yeah, I thought I was.
Mm.
Kodwa check sasa kwethiwa sibulela umuntu ngama-question.
No. This is what we must do. Look, wait. Honorable members, wait. Can you listen to me? You know, when I go out to speak to the legal team and the witness, I'm representing you. And I'm acting in your best interests. Because the moment you are elected to a position of leadership, you become an elder in society. That's what happens. We elect you today to be a leader. You grow immediately. Because the position of leadership comes with responsibility. And the reason why all the things that you are saying, the questions that you are asking, all of them, they relate to the proposal that Advocate Mkhize has made before you, because the intention was to help the meeting to move forward. And that is why she would not divulge some of the details here, which are not meant for public consumption. And the witness has said, look, here I am, this is who I am. I want to cooperate with you, give you the information that you want to hear. I propose we can go in there. If you allow me to speak, we can be structured in terms of the statement. And I tell you what I know. What I do not know, I will tell you that I don't know these things. And then the legal team will then guide the witness to say, we are on this. Then they give guidance and she makes a presentation. That's what has been suggested. But I can tell you, we can't in public ask a person questions like, are you sure about yourself? Who are you? I don't think we can do that. And we can't even expect anybody to respond to such questions in public. We can't. We need to have emotional intelligence. Honorable Skosana, and then Advocate Arens.
Chair, I think, I'm not sure if members will become comfortable. Perhaps the evidence leader must start questioning and we don't ask anything until the evidence leader is finished. Maybe clarity, we will get it at a later stage. I'm not sure, but I think my proposal will be that one.
We just deal with the presentation of evidence.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's my proposal. Thank you, Chair.
okay. Advocate Arens.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members. We just got a message, a request from Ms. Trent's attorney to have a word with her, if it's possible.
Where is the attorney?
Well, it's not present. He's obviously watching and is concerned about his client. I've got no idea what he wants to talk to her about,
No, that
but
attorney,
it may assist.
that attorney does not have a locus standi here. You know our terms of reference. When we are here, we speak with the witness. It's us who said that an attorney cannot speak in our meetings. If we are going to have a request from an attorney here, that is going to be problematic. What we can do, we try and move. If there is a requirement for a break, she can request a break. Yeah, but we can't present a matter of the attorney in our proceedings. The only person who matters here is our witness. I'm going to try the suggestion that Honorable Skosana has made and see how far we can go. Advocate Mkize, let's continue.
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Trent, we are at paragraph 19 of your affidavit.
Okay.
At paragraph 19, you say that you accompanied IPID investigators to Sable Hills. Please describe the circumstances of that visit.
Paul and I drove in, Mr. Sullivan and I drove in Mr. Sullivan's car to outside the Sable Hills estate, where we met with the late Mantle Mahlangu. And I think for the first meeting, Mr. Timani Bimnang was there, as far as I recall. And they were in a vehicle with only 2 seats. So it wasn't like a 4-seater or it was just 2 seats. And then Paul said to Mr. Mahlangu, you can drive in my car, we can all fit into one car.
What car? So you, Paul, and the 2 investigators
Correct.
traveled in
Mr. Sullivan's car.
from where?
From outside the gate of
Okay.
Sable Hills. So, yeah.
Why,
so
why
we
were
met
you going there? What were you? What was the purpose of going to Sable Hills?
We were going to show the investigators where Sable Hills and to
show the investigators where Sable Hill?
To go with them and also to see the estate manager so that to get the plans, because that would be part of the investigation. That's pretty much what happened. Oh, yes. And then
What were you investigating?
The criminal complaint that Paul had laid with the IPID.
What was the criminal complaint?
Of corruption. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking at the top of my head.
Yes.
So
You don't have to use technical terms, but there was a reason why you were at the house. So you met the investigators, as you've testified. You met the IPID investigators outside the Sable Hills complex.
correct.
Or estate rather. And the 2 investigators got into Paul's car.
Correct.
And you were going to enter Sable Hills. What was the reason for that?
because, so we didn't go in two cars.
No, no, no. What was the reason for entering Sable Hills? Why were you there?
To go and see the estate manager and to point out the Mr. Paklane's house, which was part of the investigation in that it showed that he had built a house on so there was a lifestyle audit and
were
a
you-
house
were-
that was built, and there was an analysis of that in the complaint. So, and that was the subject of one of the subjects of where the alleged funds or corrupt funds had gone into was the building of the house. So that was why we were there. It had nothing to do with anything other than this is the house. I think it was a 2-story, 8-bedroom, something or other, a very, very big house. And to see the
So
estate manager, the estate manager.
Who is the estate manager?
His name was, it was a Mr. Yerster. I think it's Chris Yerster.
Okay. And what was the purpose of your meeting with Mr. Yerster?
So we went in into his office, and he had a security guard with him. And we introduced ourselves. I think Mr. Mahlangu gave him a business card with that he was from IPID. I introduced myself as Sarah Jane Trent. Also, honorable members, I recorded all these meetings, interviews. So you obviously, I will give that to you. You can also see.
Yeah.
So there was no impersonating of any kind.
We haven't gotten there yet. My question, I just would like to know if you can tell the committee members what was the purpose of your visit? Why were you seeing the estate manager where General Pashane lives?
Because the house, the property, was the subject of the where the funds had gone.
What
So,
funds?
okay. At the time, when Paklane was the head of the forensic services at the SAPS, he had a certain salary, and his wife had she was also a police officer. So their joint income would have been a certain amount of money. And during that time, you can see that this house had been built that exceeded that income. Now this investigation came.
How did you come to know that his house exceeded his income? Were you aware of how much he earns a month, and his wife as well?
So his position as a SAPS officer, I think you all would have done this. So you could Google it or phone someone up and say, well, what is someone of this, a general. So it wasn't looking at anyone's bank statements or anything like that. And that is for.
And what was the value of the house that he had built?
I don't know. I don't know what the value of the house was.
Okay.
Paul did that, his own analysis and that, but I can't say, I can't give a valuation on that.
Okay.
Just wait.
So the purpose of the meeting was to discuss what with Mr. Yerster?
To get the plans of
Okay.
the property, because that would have formed part of the evidence, because in an investigation, you basically have to get every single thing. So if someone says, I phoned so-and-so, it's I phoned at this time, I phoned from my telephone number to this telephone number at this time, then you would get,
Okay.
so absolutely everything must be supported by evidence. And that was one of the things, because the house was a subject of the investigation. And that was the purpose of going there. As
Did
far
you
as I can
only meet
remember.
with Mr. Yerster? Was there anybody else that you met?
At Sable Hills?
Yes.
Yes, he did have a PA. I can't remember her surname, but I know it was Antoinette,
Okay.
I think. Sorry, I probably should have
Mr.
guessed.
Shucha testified that Mr. Jooste, on that visit that you have just described, that Mr. Jooste and Antoinette Venter were compelled to sign statements prepared by Mr. O'Sullivan. Did you assist in preparing statements?
Yes, but no one was compelled to do anything.
Okay, you can
No,
take us through.
so-
What statements did you prepare and why did you have to prepare statements?
So, as a certified fraud examiner, you're trained on interviewing witnesses, taking statements, evidence, all these kind of things. So, before we open a case, we'll sort of call witnesses up or possible people and say, would you like to, we know that you might have information, can we come and interview you and maybe you can give us a statement. So it would have been something like that. And we would have just typed it up. And as far as I remember, Mr. Sullivan emailed it to him and said, look, it's your statement, you can remove anything or whatever, but there was no compelling of anything.
Yes, no. I just wanted to know for the committee to understand what the reason for the visit was. And what you've testified so far is that you went to meet Mr. Jooste and his PA, Antoinette Venter, to basically get plans for Mr. Pashane's home. So why did you have to write statements? Did you get the plans?
I believe so.
Okay,
I
so
believe so.
what were the statements for?
I don't remember what the statements were. It would have been, oh yes, okay. So the first one, I can't remember. It would have been evidencing whatever, but I remember the second time we went there was on the 11th. Mr. Jooste had advised that he had spoken to Mr. Pashane, and Mr. Pashane had told him not to divulge anything. It will obviously, to the honourable members, it will become clear if you look at the transcripts. You will see exactly what was said. And then I think that became a subject of a statement.
Okay.
And then that became a case of interfering, but I don't want to jump ahead, okay.
Advocate Mashucha yesterday testified that, you sent a message saying, hi, Chris, please send your full name and ID number as appears on the ID for subpoenas. And then you sent the statement back and you asked for a paragraph to be removed.
So, sorry, can you just repeat that?
Basically, he testified that, in an email that you would have sent, you said that these statements that you are doing are to prepare subpoenas, and you subsequently asked Mr. Jooste to provide his full name, his ID number, so that you could prepare the subpoenas. You said you assisted. Is that what you assisted with?
Is there an email?
I don't have the email
So
here with me. He testified.
he said that I sent him an email asking for his ID number for subpoenas.
Yes. The question I'm
asking
asking is, the statements that you were preparing, were those in preparation for subpoenas, or were those what were the statements for?
I cannot, on Chris Jooste.
Yes.
Cannot imagine it being for a subpoena.
Okay.
I can't answer. It's too vague. If I can be shown, perhaps if you said I sent an email stating this, I would maybe be able to, because I don't know what he's talking about on a subpoena.
Okay. We'll find the email and then we'll put it, we'll
great.
place it before
Great.
you.
I'd be in a
Now
better
we-
position to answer.
Okay, now we are at paragraph 20 of your statement. At paragraph 20, you say that on January 3, in 2017, a case of fraud and impersonating IPID investigators was opened against you. What was your understanding of this development at the time? This would have been about a month after you would have visited Sable Hills.
Yes, okay, so I didn't become aware of this on the 3rd of January. I am using this date as it appears as the date of which it was opened. So I didn't become aware of it at this point.
Okay.
This is just for information that this is on the timeline and how it
Would have
how it
subsequently
occurred.
became aware of it. What
Yes.
happened? When did you become aware of it?
On the 10th of February.
How did you become aware of it? So you had just mentioned,
I just don't want to.
you had just mentioned that,
2017.
that on the
10th
10th of,
February 2017, when a massive group of cops and guns and cars came and abducted me under the auspices of arrest. And yeah, that's when I learned. I was told it was for pretending to be an IPID officer.
you say you were abducted. If you could just turn to your annexure bundle,
Yes.
which is this bundle. Annexure ST7.
Yes.
SJP7. It's at page 14.
Ah, okay. Yes, the arrest warrant.
What is that document?
This is what looks to be the arrest warrant for Camille Driftcast 12 of 01 of 2017.
Okay. And in the middle of the section, it says that application is hereby made in the issue of warrant of arrest of, whose name is there?
Sarah Jane Trent,
You can read what's below.
on a charge of IPID Act 2011, Section 33(5), pretend to be IPID investigator, fraud.
Okay. At the bottom of the page is a stamp, and it is dated the 8th of February, 2017.
Correct.
And it is also signed at the section where there is where it's labeled magistrate.
Correct.
So you mentioned that you were abducted.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Or, yeah. Yes.
Would you not have been abducted by whom?
Well, if we carry on going through it's a very long story, and I think I don't
Just
want
the
to jump
name.
around.
Just the name.
By whom, you mean?
Yes, by
Okay,
whom?
so I didn't hear.
Yes.
I don't know, I think it was Brigadier Clifford Khorane, Colonel Ishmael Dawood, Brigadier Parasa Nqube, and Jan Ntebu Mabula,
Okay.
and others that I don't know.
So they would have arrived on the 10th. You're going to tell the events how they unfolded, but they would have arrived on the 10th of February to arrest you, but you used the word abduct. And I've just sent you, if you can give me a moment, I've just sent you to SJT 7 at page 14, which is a warrant of arrest
Yes.
signed by a magistrate, stamped and dated 8 February 2017. Is there a particular reason why you use the word abducted and not arrested?
Yes. So when an application for an arrest warrant gets to a magistrate, there would have been a docket is opened. It is then given to an investigating officer. The investigating that's appointed, they carry out some investigation, and a prosecutor is appointed to a docket, and that investigator will go and see the prosecutor, if it's a weekly thing, or I don't quite know how it works on their times. And the prosecutor will then go through the docket and say, okay, we've got this, okay, we need this. And then they'll write the next instruction on it. And in the docket, we'll have the affidavits or sworn statements and the evidence and the chain of evidence and everything. And those affidavits are obviously under oath, but you don't know whether someone's lying under oath or anything like that. So by the time, so the prosecutor is then going on what is in the docket that the police officer has given. The prosecutor then says, well, looking at this, on the face of this, these affidavits and everything, let's go get, a magistrate might give us a warrant of arrest. However, there are different circumstances on this issue as well when it comes to the prosecutor, because we can get to that again.
Well,
And then when it gets to the magistrate then trusts that the prosecutor is coming there with prima facie evidence, or on a believes the prosecutor of what they're saying, and they say, okay, no, that's fine. And the prosecutor on the, I mean, I'm simplifying
So
it.
what?
So I believe, and then I know that there were certain statements that were either coerced or people lied under oath. And the other thing is that
So you say that you were abducted because you later found out some information relating to the charge and the docket and basically the process under which you were arrested.
that as well is one
Okay,
one of them.
We can move on.
The other,
We can move on.
oh, no,
You're
think
going to describe the circumstances. I was just asking you specifically why you used that word, but we're
no,
going to.
there's another element, but I'm not going to go into detail. Is what happened on the arrest, which we can go into, but that was not a proper arrest, but we'll.
Okay. So at paragraph 21 of your statement, 'cause we're just going to take it paragraph by paragraph, and you'll be able to unfold your story as we go along.
Okie dokes.
So at paragraph 21, you describe this investigation as a counter investigation. Can you explain why you view this, why you view it in this way, and what you believe General Pashane's intentions were? You can read.
Okay. The investigation was effectively a counter-investigation to the corruption allegation against Pashane, and only concerned itself with the manner in which IPID was conducting its investigations. It was clear to me that Pashane was abusing his authority as acting commissioner of police to protect himself from investigation and reduce the credibility of IPID witnesses by requiring them to make additional, possibly conflicting affidavits.
The question is, can you explain why you view this as a counter investigation?
So in February, March, in or around or about that time of 2016. When Mr. O'Sullivan had laid the complaint at IPID, nothing had been done. But what we came to find later was that the then acting head of IPID at the time, Mr. Khamanyane, I'm so sorry if I can't remember something, had informed Mr. Pakhlane that there was an investigation and a complaint made by Mr. O'Sullivan, Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. And he had signed acknowledgement of receipt on that. And I think they'd asked for a meeting, but
Yes.
that meeting didn't.
I can actually assist you with that because the evidence has already been led in respect of that.
Oh, I see.
Mr. McBride led evidence, to that effect.
Okay.
So we are aware of those circumstances. Yeah. So why do you call this investigation a counter investigation?
Okay. Oh, sorry. So he then knew that there was no investigation that happened at IPID, so he was fine. And then when he became aware, they picked up the case now, this needs to stop. We need to stop this investigation happening. And he used the excuse of a security threat to then have me and Mr. McBride arrested, and we'll go into the circumstances of those situations and stop the investigation into him.
So in essence, what you are saying is that because Paul O'Sullivan and Associates was investigating General Pashane, he then launched a counter investigation and claimed that there was a security threat to counter the corruption case that you had launched against him, lodged against him rather.
Not exactly. It wasn't. So when I say the letter that went to Mr. Pakhlane in early 2016, it was IPID informing Mr. Pakhlane of an investigation or an investigation into a complaint made by Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. And IPID then, once Mr. McBride had come back from his suspension, had picked up the matter, of course, because it's the National Commission of Police for South Africa. It's a serious matter. It should be investigated. And that's when he came. So it was IPID that was investigating. Forensics for Justice had done investigations and taken sworn statements from whistleblowers and received evidence, but handed it over to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at paragraph 22, you say you were served with an application in the Pretoria High Court by General Pashane. And that application is in our bundle at
Page 8.
At page 8, and it is annexure SJT6. Is that the application that you are talking about that was served on you?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the nature of this application?
So this, okay, can I just read it instead of?
Maybe what we can do is highlight it because we're going to run out of time.
Yeah.
So in essence, the relief that General Pashane launched an application, the respondents is IPID, Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, you are cited as the third respondent, as well as a magistrate, Tsatsi. And it is a review, it's an application to review and set aside the search and seizure warrant, which was issued on the 29th of December 2016. regarding his home at Sable Hills at Waterfront. So when you went to Sable Hills, did you have a search and seizure warrant, or were you going for a meeting with Mr. Uester?
Yeah, we were going to go and meet with Mr. Uester. We hadn't made a previous meeting, but it wasn't a search and seizure. No, it didn't need to have a search and seizure.
So this application, there was no basis for it?
No, in my opinion, it was in order to, he had to do what he needed to do to stop the IPID investigation, but it was one of, anyway, sorry, over to you.
Okay, so you don't really know what the nature of what the purpose of the application was. You say it was just, it was designed to distract, but you did not have a search and seizure warrant.
Oh, sorry. The IPID did have a search and seizure warrant at some point. But as it refers to me,
what was testified is that you also went to Mr. Pashane's home to identify a music system that had been fitted in his home. You were not party to that?
No.
Okay. Were there any other investigators within Forensics for Justice or Polo Sullivan and Associates that accompanied you and Mr. O'Sullivan, or was it always just the two of you?
It was just the two of us.
Okay. Did the entity have other forensic investigators besides the two of you?
No, at that time, it was myself and Mr. O'Sullivan, and then obviously support staff, but it was.
So
yeah,
all the work that was
discussed.
conducted, the investigations, you would have all knowledge of all those investigations?
Yes, unless Paul was carrying out something that he didn't need my assistance on.
Okay. Now we are at paragraph 23. On Wednesday, on the 8th of February 2017, you say that a warrant of arrest was issued against you. You state that you believe it was fraudulently obtained.
I think we've covered that.
Okay. And the reason why you say it was fraudulently obtained, just for the purposes of the committee, is that a proper investigation had not been conducted.
Correct. And
Okay, we can move to the
okay,
next
thank
paragraph.
you. Please do interrupt me.
At paragraph 24, please describe in detail the events of your arrest on the 10th of February 2017 and how you were effectively kidnapped. That should cover paragraph 24, 25, 26, and 27.
Okay, so you want me to read this or to
You can
speak?
You can
Is it-
read your statement or
Okay,
speak to it or elaborate.
Okay, so 2 days later, on Friday, 10 February 2017, at approximately 4:15 in the afternoon, I was unlawfully placed under arrest at the offices of Paulo Sullivan and Associates for pretending to be an IPID officer. I don't add fraud here because this is what I was told at the time. It is my view that I was effectively kidnapped owing to the circumstances of the incident. I've provided CCTV video footage of the events and asked that this be played to the committee. I was then put in an old unmarked double cab bucky and driven to a Shell petrol station on Marlborough Drive, Sandton, which is about 2.5 kilometers from where I was arrested. I was not taken directly to a police station, and the arresting officer did not have possession of my cell phone. When I arrived at the petrol station, I had not yet been handcuffed. Colonel Ishmael Dawood told the police officer to cuff me. The police officer then unlawfully tied a cable tie around my wrists, but she did not have handcuffs. Approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes after I was abducted, Korane, Nqola, and others unlawfully took me back to my office to steal my phone. I asked to see my warrant of arrest, and if not, that I wanted to call an attorney when we were still at the petrol station. They refused. And again, at the office, sorry, I've repeated something here. They aggressively refused to give or show me the arrest warrant. In fact, they pointed at me. It was not a nice experience. They did not produce any order allowing them to force me to open the gate to Paulo Sullivan and Associates, to open my car, to search my car, or to remove anything from my car. I opened the garage door to the property as demanded by them, but one of the Mabulu team accomplices, Lucia, I only know her as Lucia, opened my car and stole my cell phone. The phone was not placed in an evidence bag. The phone was not seized when I was arrested, as has been falsely claimed. The search and seizure of my phone took place 1 hour and 40 minutes after my arrest, with no search and seizure warrant and refusal to see my arrest warrant when I asked to see it. I was then taken back to the petrol station where we remained for a long time, with no explanation as to why I was forced to wait there. I then heard Khurane instruct the driver of the vehicle I was in to take me to the Camille Drift police station. I was scared, as I knew that my legal representation would be at a Cullinan police station to meet me there, as I had been advised that that was where I was being taken. But instead, I was driven to Camille Drift police station, where a whole process of abuse of my constitutional rights continued. At approximately 6:20 p.m., 2 hours after my arrest, I was driven to the Camille Drift police station at times at a speed of 160 kilometers per hour on a freeway. I know this because I could see the speedometer. The driver had an R5 rifle across his chest and ate popcorn while driving. I was afraid we could crash at any moment due to the reckless conduct of the driver. When I arrived at the Camille Drift police station, not the Cullinan police station, one of the duty officers asked Khurane, "Is this Trent? People are looking for her." And I desperately, and I said, "Yes, I am. Please call them back and tell them that I am here." Khurane aggressively and unlawfully told the police officer not to call anyone, even pointing his finger at her. At approximately 7:15 p.m., I signed the constitutional rights form at the Camille Drift police station. One of the officers that had accompanied the arresting entourage wrote the time on the form as 6 p.m., when it was actually 7:15 p.m. I then crossed out 6 p.m. and wrote the correct time on the form. I believe this was done deliberately to hide the fact that they had hidden me after abducting me for longer than they actually did. In fact, I said as much to the officer. I was then locked up in a little cell in the reception area of the station. While still in the charge office, before I was detained in cells, a Colonel Mike Sales arrived at the police station and took possession of my cell phone from the arresting officers. My cell phone was by then in an evidence bag, which had been placed in same when we arrived at the police station. Khurane filled in the form list of seized items, and under seal bag number, but Khurane did not fill in the seal bag number. He filled in the IMEI number, I'm not going to read out that whole, of my cell phone. This amounts to a break in the chain of evidence. An extract of Khurane's statements dates. Her cell phone, iPhone 6S with IMEI number, was handed in as an exhibit as per SAP 1340/49/2017 and sealed in evidence bag number. And I attach a copy of this statement and the list of seized items is Annexure SJT8 and Annexure SJT9 respectively.
Thank you, Ms. Trent. If I could ask you to then turn to page 15 of the bundle. Page 15, are you there? It is a statement which is attached to your warrant of arrest. It is deposed to by Mr. Clifford Makome Khurane. And I'm just going to jump around in his statement to speak to some of the things that you have said. It's your statement that you attached. Yes,
I'm
Korani's
sorry, it's just-
statement.
It's not attached to the warrant of arrest. This was a statement.
Okay, it's a
Yeah.
statement, okay, it's on the next page.
Uh,
It's on the next page. There he describes having arrested you, executed the arrest on the 10th of February 2017, that is at paragraph 3. In the middle of the page, he states that the docket is registered at Camille's Drift for intimidation, fraud, extortion, and attempted extortion, and pretending to be an IPID investigator. And then he goes on to state the time of when he arrived, him and the team arrived. It would have been 16:25, that's in the middle of the page. And we proceeded to number 7, Janine Street in Sandown, to execute the warrant. And when we were there, when we were about to arrive, I saw Mr. Paul Sullivan, Mr. Paul Sullivan's vehicle coming out of the yard, and I tried to stop him, but he managed to drive away. Was Paul there the day you were arrested?
He
Had
was.
just left, okay, so he left you.
Yes, and you'll see it in the video. He
Yeah.
drove off and.
He drove off and left you to be arrested on your
I
own.
was, yes.
Sure. I saw a white lady through the glass door and trying to close the main gate with a remote control. And then further down, he says, I showed her, that's like 3/4 of the way on page 16. I showed her the warrant of arrest and informed her of her rights, of the crimes she was arrested for, pretending to be an IPID investigator in fraud. I also informed her about her constitutional rights in terms of section 35, 1 and 2 of the Constitution. She confirmed that she understood her rights as I explained to her, and she wished to consult her lawyer. I afforded her an opportunity, and she used her own phone. Did you phone your attorney?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's
So-
when he said the Cullinan Police
Okay.
Station.
She also asked when you spoke to a lawyer, and then your attorney then asked where you would be, and he said Cullinan District is what he said there, Cullinan District. And then further down, he says that Paul Sullivan at the same time were waiting for traffic. So here, okay. I handed over the subject to Warrant Officer Mashake. We then drove through heavy traffic to a garage situated in Marlborough, where we all stopped to strategize and how we were going to trace Mr. O'Sullivan. At the same time, we were waiting for traffic to subside. So your statement says that they just parked at the garage for no reason. but
wasn't-
He gives an explanation to say that he was waiting for traffic to subside because it was 4:30 when you were arrested. So it was heavy traffic at the time to go to Cullinan area. I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'll just finish.
Please
reading
stop me
statement.
if you see.
Yeah, sure. And then it also continues on the next page, and he says that at the police station, the suspect was again informed of her rights, and her cell phone, iPhone 6, with that number, was handed in as an exhibit and sealed in evidence in a bag, PA 600-1904-294. On the following page, at page 22, your cell phone with the corresponding seal number, iPhone 6, has also been listed on that page as the item that they would have taken from you. So do you want to comment on some of the things that you've said in your statement regarding the fact that you were abducted, you were not afforded an opportunity, your phone was stolen, you were not afforded an opportunity to speak to your attorney? Would you like to comment on that? And why do you still say that you were abducted if you were able to call your attorney before you left, at the point at which you got arrested?
Thank you. Firstly, gosh, firstly, he didn't know where they were going to, or I'm assuming he did not know where he was going to take me, because otherwise he would have told the attorney exactly where they were taking me. So why tell that it's Cullinan Police Station? Because they only found, I'm going to digress slightly.
Yeah.
They found me
Miss-
at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
because when I was in that holding cell, I heard the receptionist lady, sorry, who? Monica. And I screamed.
Okay, you can just maybe breathe for now and take it a moment. But what I was going to put to you that you can sort of think about. Ms. Trent, where I'm going with this is that this statement that you attached to your bundle from Mr. Clifford, I don't know what's his rank, Brigadier Clifford Horamo. He says that he was going to he told your attorney that he was taking you to Cullinan District. And your contention is that you were taken to Camille's Drift. And Camille's Drift police station, the jurisdiction, Cullinan Magistrate is within the jurisdiction of Camille's Drift. Why do you still insist that it was not the area where you were supposed to be taken, because Camille's Drift is in the Cullinan District? I'm trying to just understand.
Thank you for clarifying that for
Yeah.
me. The arrest warrant on SJT 7, page 14, it's very clear. It says the police station is Camille Drift.
Chairperson. Chair, I'm worried now. Chair, sorry.
Honorable James.
I'm so sorry, Chair. We agreed earlier on that we won't interject, we won't ask clarity-seeking questions so that the witness can get through a statement without breaking down. We're not doing that, and the witness is still breaking down. And yet, we have clarity-seeking questions. So what are we going to do now? Because we're not asking questions, and the witness is crying and breaking down, and we're suppressing ourselves when it comes to certain paragraphs here that's really questionable, where we need clarity on, restraining ourselves, because really there are certain things I'm feeling pressed now to ask clarity-seeking questions.
No, the evidence leaders are about to conclude now, and then we will take a break and come back. Let's allow them to conclude.
Ms. Trent, I'd asked a question.
Oh, yes. So, Camille Drift Police Station, yes, is in the Cullinan district. But it's very clear on the warrant of arrest that it is the police station is Camille Drift Police Station. So he could have told the attorney, but
Perhaps the question is, while we are there, so that we finalize this and just put it to bed. The brigadier says that I'm taking the witness, the detained person I'm taking Ms. Trent to Cullinan District. What is wrong with that statement?
That's incorrect. It was Cullinan Police Station.
So were you at Camille Drift Police Station? In the Cullinan district?
Yes,
Yes.
but
So-
not the Cullinan Police Station,
Yes, there's no Cullinan police station.
which my attorney and everybody that was looking for me later found out.
Yes, but he says the Cullinan
That's what he
district.
says in his statement. It's not
Yes.
what he said.
I say this because this is your evidence. So I'm not trying to like press you too hard. This is your evidence. This is the statement that you wanted to rely on.
Yes.
And this statement says something different to what you have said in your statement. And I'm just trying to get clarity on why then did you rely on this statement by Brigadier Khorane that says that he was going to take you to the Cullinan district, which is what he did. Camille Drift Police Station is in the Cullinan district. I'm just trying to understand because the clarity that I seek has to do with, firstly, why you say you were abducted. You've explained that. But even though there was a warrant of arrest, and even though your rights were read to you, and even though your attorney was contacted, you still maintain you were abducted. The second question that I ask is, what false information was given to your attorney on a call when the statement you rely on says Cullinan District, which is a jurisdiction in which Camille Drift Police Station is situated? I'm trying to understand your evidence.
The attorney said, what police station are you taking her to? And he said Cullinan Police Station or Cullinan Police Station,
Okay.
not Camille Drift. And that's why I say when the second time when we went to the petrol station, when he said Camille Drift, I started to freak out because now no one knows where I am.
Okay.
And I don't know whether there's a Cullinan Police Station or.
The last thing that I would like to also just highlight to you is that you say in your evidence that it was noted that you had arrived at, this is paragraph 31, that you had arrived at 1800 hours, but in fact it was 1915, and you scratched it out. Why did you not make that correction in this statement? Why did you not ask Mr. Khorane to make the correction as you did on one of the?
Sorry, I don't understand.
So at paragraph 41, you say that you signed your constitutional rights statement and you noticed that they had noted 1800 hours, whereas you actually had arrived at 7:15 and you scratched it out and wrote the correct time. So which made the facts, you corrected the facts. The question I have here is that why did you not ask Mr. Khorane to correct the facts? Because you rely on the statement and the statement is very clear. It's still within what you've testified, which is the area. You were in the area, not the police station. The police station you were taken to after you were arrested falls within the Cullinan district in the area.
Yeah.
You still don't concede.
It's beside the point. What police station are you taking her to?
Okay.
Cullinan Police Station. They did not do that. They took me to Camille Drift.
Okay. If we can then move on to now discuss the theme of the cell phone. At paragraph 30, paragraph 34, 33, 34, and 35 deal with the cell phone. You say that at 33, Colonel Sells asked for your passcode.
Correct.
What was your response?
I gave him a summary of what had just happened because I
Did you give
Oh, no,
Colonel?
no.
Okay, you
I
didn't give the
said-
password.
I said, asked him if I would be defeating the ends of justice. If I did not, he couldn't answer me. He just went like this. And I said, I need to speak to my attorney, who was still looking for me at the time.
Okay. You say in your presence, you state that Sales opened the evidence bag and plugged in your phone. Is that not normal in the course of your items being,
I don't know.
Taken.
No, but I can't imagine. And the issue around this is, if we look back at when with a list of seized items, you had to put the seal bag number of the evidence bag, which he didn't. You know, a very seasoned police officer forgets that, oh, that's not where the IMEI number goes. What happened is, and then Colonel Sales ripped bag open and plugged in the charger and took with him unused one. So there's no evidence of that first evidence bag.
so is that the reason why you maintain that your cell phone was stolen and they taken to Israel? I'm trying to understand, because my understanding is that when you get arrested, whatever items are on your person at the time, if you're wearing a belt, it will be, you know, form part of, you know, the items that are removed from you, because you can't have a belt on you. You cannot, so there's certain items, your cell phone will be put in, if it's part of the evidence on your cell phone is crucial to the investigation, it will be in a evidence bag, sealed as part of the evidence. What was unusual about these circumstances?
They did not seize my phone. They went back and forced me to open the gate, and they took it out after I had requested several times, may I see my arrest warrant? Does it provide for you having my phone? And if I cannot see my arrest warrant, I need to speak to an attorney. Why haven't you taken me to the police station? The other thing was, oh yes, when they arrived at the thing, they allowed me to log off my laptop, closed my laptop. I was, you know, why now all of a sudden we get to the police station, the petrol station, and then they go, oh, I don't understand.
Okay. What would you like, what is your comment on, we now know that that cell phone was taken. It was taken to Israel. It was testified yesterday that it was taken to Israel, which is not an uncommon thing, because at the time in 2017, the country did not have ways to unlock the phone so that they could bring it back into the country, so that it could be downloaded.
Was that
So
based solely
yeah.
on Mashucha's set? Is he the only person that said that?
At the moment, that's what
Okay.
we know. We will look into it. So if we can take it as this, your cell phone, it's not contested, it's not disputed that your cell phone went to Israel to get
Yes.
unlocked.
No,
It's not
contested.
disputed.
Yeah.
So it then came back into the country. And upon coming back into the country, it was, the messages were downloaded off it. You say that was unlawful. What was unlawful about that?
Correct. They stole my phone out of my car. They had no right to it. They had no right to even download it. They had no right to it.
I've read the statement into the record that when you were arrested, you used your own cell phone to phone your attorney. So at which point would your cell phone gone into your car after you had it on your hand while you were being arrested?
Yes. So the Lucia police officer was holding it. And at some point when
Drift, on the last paragraph, you deal with false allegations of infiltration into IPID. You directly deny the allegations of infiltration into IPID. Can you state unequivocally your position on these allegations and why you deny them?
There was no infiltration into IPID. I had no control over anything in IPID.
Did you have, did you know the head of IPID,
Mr. McBride.
Mr. McBride,
Yes.
at the time?
Yes.
And you also were involved in investigations and assisting the work of the investigators of IPID
From time to
from
time.
time to time. What was your relationship with Mr. McBride?
We had a semi-social relationship, but nothing sort of serious. There was, we met for meals, not a lot. Yeah, so
So you had a relationship.
not a
No,
relationship.
a semi-social relationship is what you have, I want to use your words. So with that semi-social relationship that you had, did you talk about investigations?
We spoke about what was going on, the corruption that was going on in the criminal justice system, but not necessarily. You see, Mr. McBride wasn't doing any of the investigations himself. He was the executive director, so it wouldn't have been discussing the investigations. But it was a very long time ago.
Yeah. What Mr. McBride testified is that he personally put together a task team and allowed Mr. Cedric Nkabinde to head up that task team. That task team was formed of two of the members that you spoke about, the investigators. They also formed part of that task team. It was colloquially known as the Pashane task team.
Okay.
And he was quite involved in following the work of the progress within that task team. That's what he testified. And Mr. Sullivan also testified that, yes, indeed, he had complained to Mr. McBride about the slow progress into the investigation of General Pashane. So there was some involvement at a level that is not just as a senior, but he did have his eye on specifically that investigation. He testified to that effect. Now, my question to you is, as a person who had been part of that investigation, dealing with the investigators, what did you and Mr. McBride discuss in these semi-social?
I can't remember. I can't remember. It was a very long time ago.
Okay.
So,
and what kind of what time of the, I mean, what kind of meals would you meet for? Dinner, lunch, breakfasts? I mean, how often did you meet? And was
it would usually be like a last minute in Joburg or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I remember once a coffee somewhere in Pretoria. I remember a dinner maybe in Sandton.
would Mr. O'Sullivan accompany you to these dinners and
No,
lunches?
no, he didn't know anything about it.
Okay. What we are doing, part of the work that is being done in this, within this committee is that we are looking into infiltration at IPID. And when the question was put to you, when you were putting to, drafting your statement, that's the only paragraph that you gave. But we need to ask a bit more questions to understand, because you have already testified that you drafted statements for Mr. Uester, you prepared subpoenas on behalf of IPID.
No, I didn't
You
say that.
assisted.
I didn't say I prepared a
Okay,
subpoena.
you prepared statements. You did desktop work, you did desktop work?
I'm just gonna ask you to stop there.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with how you're summarizing
Okay,
what it was. I didn't
okay.
draft a subpoena or anything unless, I mean,
What did you draft?
on the Uester
In assisting IPID?
I don't think I did. I'm sure that there would be a record of that.
So
But I know, because
I can
at the
assist-
time it would have, there were.
I
there
can
was-
assist you, Sarah.
Yes.
Here's what you testified. You testified that you assisted in drafting statements. You also testified that you did desktop research. You also testified that,
Did I say I assisted in drafting statements for IPID?
Mr. Eoster was an investigation into Sable Hills on behalf of IPID. You testified that that visit to Sable
Yeah.
Hills was a IPID operation. You accompanied the two investigators, you and Mr. Paul Sullivan. If my recollection
I
is
think
incorrect,
I'm
if
not.
it's incorrect,
I'm
it's
not.
fine. You can
it's not
correct it.
the- Yeah,
You can correct it. You can give your version.
I think I've given my version.
No, I'm just summarizing it because now
So
we're dealing
as
with.
I understand, Mr. O'Sullivan drafted the statement of Mr. Eoster and sent it to him to say, look, we've drafted based on our discussions of earlier. I mean, I don't know what it said, but I'm assuming something like that. And which is totally fine to draft a draft.
Yes. So my question, I'm not trying to trick you at all. I actually am not. What I'm doing is I'm at the last paragraph. The last paragraph, as you can see, deals with a very important part of the work we are doing in this committee.
Oh, yes. If I,
And let me, maybe just to finish. So all you've given is you've just denied infiltration. And I'm asking specific questions and also reminding you of some of the evidence that you have already given. If my recollection of the evidence, I mean, it's on record, but if it's incorrect, I'm not making you, concede. You can give your version. But my recollection is that you said you assisted in drafting statements.
I would.
Perhaps you can tell us what kind of assistance you gave IPID.
We've done this already. Okay, so let me. Desktop research, file notes. If there was a person of interest that came up, I would then run that check and give it to them for them to use. And
If you can just pause there, what do you mean if a person of interest came up, you would grant them a check? What check?
if they needed to know information on someone, as a certified fraud examiner, can access a certain database. Now, they're very strict. You have to have a reasonable suspicion that a crime may have taken place. So you can't say, oh, I'm going on a date with someone, can you check them out? Like, you can't do that. And then I would give that to them. There's nothing wrong with it. It's almost like, it's like a credit check. So there's nothing.
So you would conduct credit checks on,
But yes,
as part of your investigations?
yes.
And those would be on behalf of IPID?
Wouldn't say. On
Did you conduct any on behalf of IPID is the question, essentially?
Can you explain what you mean by on behalf of? Because I think
The reason I'm saying on behalf of IPID, in assisting IPID, because you couldn't have been doing the work that IPID is doing. So IPID would give you an instruction to say, as an examiner, I'm asking, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm asking you the question. The question is, how would IPID how would you execute the instructions on behalf of IPID in assisting them with the investigation work?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there would be, I can imagine going through.
I'm asking specifically around the credit checks that you said you were conducting, because that's where we were now. Remember, the other evidence is already in. We now know that the desktops, studies, you would do research. sometimes draft statements. We are now at the point at which you would conduct credit checks. So just limit the answer to just the credit checks. How did you have to do any credit checks on the instruction of IPID? That's the
On the
question.
request,
On
on the request. And
request.
yes, yes.
Okay, so you would also conduct credit checks on certain individuals
I
in
would
your bid?
download it, send it on.
Okay. This work, was it only limited to General Pashane, or did you do other work on an ad hoc basis that they would require?
So usually in any of our investigations, we would, if we'd, in our own investigation, before we'd open the docket, we would have done the searches like that as well. And for example, if I've got a client and I've done those searches as part of my investigation, I cannot give the client that information. So I'll give it directly to the police officer. And, oh, sorry, I've lost my place.
So you were giving an example of how you would basically execute a request from
Yes.
IPID.
So I would run it and give it to them. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with doing that.
You mentioned Mandla Mahlangu. I think he's late. Is the late?
The late.
Yeah.
He was shot in the head.
Yeah. Mandla Mahlangu was an investigator at IPID. Do you know him beyond just the investigating work? Did you know him rather because he's late now?
What do you mean?
Did you also have any social, occasional, relations with him?
We had lunch once and dinner once, yeah.
So you got quite acquainted with the investigators. You would meet them outside of the scope of work.
Correct. Yes, yes.
Okay.
I mean, in
And-
hindsight, but I didn't
Yeah.
do anything wrong, but I understand you have to probe it, so.
Yeah, I have to just ask. And I think this is lastly. So you were comfortable with the IPID investigators, you knew them, you met them socially. What other work did you do on, I'm trying to choose my words very carefully, on the request of IPID from either the investigators or Mr. McBride or anybody within IPID?
I don't.
Besides General
Not-
Pashane?
There was no project.
Yes, I'm
So
on an ad hoc basis.
I can't remember. I know that from time to time, there would be a request. I do remember there was a news article, but it was from leaked cell phone records, so I'm not comfortable going to that, but there were.
What do you mean by that?
So there was people have said I was digging up dirt on the previous minister in Nqola.
Were you?
No, no, I wasn't digging up dirt, but
But
I did do a search.
Okay,
Yes, I
you
did
did-
do a search.
did a
It was a lifestyle search, and yeah.
As part of the work that you did at IPID, you also conducted lifestyle searches. Can you comment on Mr. Paul Sullivan testified that he assisted Mr. Chauke in conducting a lifestyle search regarding the national commissioner that was to be appointed. Did you assist in that work?
I don't remember that. I vaguely recall I think I did one or two searches, but I didn't know who instructed or requested or anything like that. I was under the impression that Mr. Sullivan knew about, they were deciding on a new commissioner or, and yeah.
And you didn't do any work for that,
Oh, no, I think, I cannot say 100% certainty, but I do believe that I did a couple of searches on that. But I don't know the instruction, the discussion between, how it came about between Mr. Sullivan and Mr. Chauke.
Okay. Lastly, did you have a romantic relationship with Mr. McBride?
I wouldn't say it was a romantic relationship, but it was social. I don't know quite what word to put it in, but for a brief time, we weren't in a relationship.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. And it was not, it wasn't infiltration.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. I'm at the end of the affidavit.
Are you done, Advocate Mkiza? Yeah. Are you done?
Yes, Chairperson.
Ms. Trent, what is a semi-social relationship?
It didn't, you're not like, sorry, can you put the question to me again?
What is a semi-social relationship?
So we saw each other every now and again. There was an attraction to each other, but there was no relationship that went on. But yeah, I don't really know how. Yeah, I don't know how really more to explain. But it wasn't some sort of, oh, I love you and I'll do anything for you and what do you need me to do for you kind of thing. It was what it was. Yeah.
What do you mean? You are like friends with benefits.
Are you allowed to say that on national TV?
Chairperson, I don't mean to interject while you're speaking, but I think there's new language for that. It's called situationship.
Oh. Yeah, no. We are old. We speak Shakespearean English. And I can see now that globalization has happened. Do you understand what is meant by situationship, Honorable Shongwa? This is English. If you do not know that people can expand the language and create new words and concepts, screenshot, screen grab, screen munch. That's what is happening. The language gets enriched. So there is situationship or semi-social relationships. Thank you. Is there anything that you want to say? Anything further that you want to say?
Not that I can think of.
Honorable members, it's now 19:55. What do we do with the time? When it is 19:55, we break. We come back at 20:30. And then we are going to have the long night with Mrs. Sarah Jane Trent. Before we break, I want you to know that We tried to get Mr. Adams to come back tomorrow. He's not available. And the two witnesses that were supposed to be coming tomorrow, one of them is a Lesotho national. So I requested our team to first check with Home Affairs if that citizen is legally in the country, so that we're not seen to be promoting wrong practices. And because we do not have confirmation from Home Affairs, we can't allow that witness to appear before us until we get confirmation. Number two, the second witness, who is a South African, says she is in Lesotho for the event that is known as the 117 kilometers Moshweshwe walk. So we will wait for her to come back to her mother country, because in any event, she's coming back to South Africa. So when she comes back, we will arrange with her to appear before the committee. So the two of them, one is waiting, we're waiting for that Home Affairs confirmation, and the other, we're waiting for her to come back. So what it means is that the next proceedings will happen on Tuesday next week. And then we will have a committee housekeeping meeting on Monday. Agreed? I'm talking to myself. If you keep quiet, I will look for
No.
Honorable Escosana.
The question, Chair, perhaps was not clear, or the information you gave us is not clear, but if I heard you well, is that tomorrow there's nothing? We are having our house meeting on Monday as usual, and today after dinner, we are coming back here. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, Chair.
Yeah. No,
I'm agreeing with you, Chair.
Thinking progressively so that you understand what I mean. And you plan your things the way you want to plan them. Yeah. It's a report. Okay, I don't see any further hands, so I'm going to request you to stand up and leave the chambers. You will come back at 20:30.